the properties of fish gelatin, and we can see the toxicity, heavy metal, and so on. And they already met the halal requirement. This is just the properties our fish skin gelatin, the characteristic from the fish scale, also for the molecular weight, and also the amino acid that the different protein, collagen, and gelatin come from glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline. This one, and this is the antioxidant capacity. So you can see here the antioxidant capacity from collagen gelatin is very high. And this is actually our innovation, fish collagen and gelatin. Maybe you can see also in our booth collaboration with the KNEKS. So we already try. Okay, we
Is
already
it possible to wrap it up a little bit, maybe?
Okay.
Prof?
Yeah.
Sorry
okay,
for that.
Yeah. From our gelatin, we already implement to the food, cosmetic, pharmacy, and the supplement. So this is just the information our product already tried, and also we already get some award from ministry or many yeah, many award that we get from this innovation. Okay, so this is also for the biofilm, and also for the this is for the edible coating, and also for the pharmacy for the gelatin sponge. This is already implemented. So I have the student from the Universitas Indonesia as a dentist. So we make the gelatin sponge to implement in the dentist area. So maybe this is very interesting. Our finding actually we already have the collaboration with the blended financing. So we involve the Wakaf here from the Indosat, and then we improve our research to be commercialized. And this is maybe we can claim this is just the first producer collagen gelatin Indonesia. And this is just the information. This is collaboration with the blended financing. And now the capacity is around 2 tons per day in the liquid form. Okay, I think we can, yeah, this is just our product now try to develop like this one, some product, and the product in the market, they can accept very well our product. So this is just the information of the collagen if for our body is very important. And this one, just maybe our homework. Why the halal gelatin industry in Indonesia is very important? Yeah, because in Indonesia, you know that in Indonesia, all of the gelatin product come from import. And you know the new data show that the amount of the gelatin import is about 400 tons per month. It's very high. And until now, there is no collagen and gelatin in industry in Indonesia. So almost 100% is import. And we have the opportunity to develop gelatin from fish, which is the gelatin from fish meet the halal, and also no halal issue, and also for the nutrition is very high, compare with the mammalian. And this one, of course, they meet circular economy, sustainability, and also for the health, for our healthy. So, and the demand of the halal product now I think tend to increase. Yeah, and the halal, the gelatin can be used for many industry. So this is just my end the slide. So the development of the strategical for the future, I think maybe we can try to make the collaboration together to have to increase our gelatin production in Indonesia to be national industry. So maybe like we can improve the existing industry in Indonesia based on the Wakaf, the financing, blended financing, and also the research and innovation strengthening. Of course, research is never ending, right? So we can still do research to increase the quality. And the raw material supply, because we know that Indonesia is very big country, very 19,000 island in Indonesia, so we have to make the collaboration to keep the raw material supply, and also industrial strengthening, like how to facilitate the licensing and provide incentive, and also for the public awareness. And to the pilot project development, we can establish halal gelatin together with the academic, businessmen, government, commodity, and media. So I think that's all my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was a really brilliant presentation, I suppose. Now we learned that we can use all of those waste materials like fish skin and then fish bone. What is it, like a swim bladder as well, and other marine byproducts. Yeah. Yeah. And you also mentioned how the porcine is like dominating the industry, right? It is very crucial as well. We also saw that the bones are there as well, and we have no idea what kind of bones are those. And apart from bones, even if they are from bovine animals, they could be from non-halal slaughtered bovine animals. Let's say if the cows or the buffaloes are not slaughtered according to Sharia law, then the risk is even higher, right? And how much is it? Do you think how much is it? Do you think in terms of percentage, when it comes to the only safe one? I mean, we saw like 3.85, right? But then like I suppose it's gonna be more than that because we have bovine, we have bones as well. Do you have any estimate for that, Prof?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I think very interesting question. So actually, as a Muslim population, the highest in Indonesia, as we know that the utilization of gelatin very wide in the pharmacy, cosmetic, and food. And as I explained before, that the gelatin actually almost come from import. And then the resources of gelatin also almost from the porcine, from pork, from bone or from skin. And maybe from bovine also, we can meet some obstacle, like we don't know about the slaughtering. There is meet the Sharia criteria or no.
Yes, yes.
So that's
Absolutely.
why we will. That's why we develop. We have been developing the halal alternative gelatin from fish. Why from fish? Yeah, because this is from my from my after I explore many years, so I know that Indonesia is very lucky. From fish tropical country, the quality of gelatin also very similar with the conventional resources. And maybe from why it is very difficult to develop gelatin come from bovine or buffalo Indonesia, because Indonesian people like us
Yeah.
also, we like very much
The bones.
bones or skin
Yeah.
in
it's
the
for
tunjang,
rambak. For tunjang.
kikil,
for rambak.
like kikil or bakso from with the bone. We like very much,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So
Tetelan,
yeah, that's why I think
Alright.
very important for the sustainability of the industry.
Uh-huh.
So that's why we develop the alternative halal material from fish.
Alright.
And fortunately, the fish meet the quality of the conventional gelatin.
Thank you. That was very brilliant. Of the presentation of Prof. Mala. Please give her a round of applause. Now let's move on to the laboratory. I'm sorry, let's move on to the factory setting. We were in the laboratory back then, and then now we're going to the factory setting. I would like to invite Miss Ida Rahmi Kurniasi. She is the Director of Production at PT Papros Terbuka. She will not be here with us, but she will be on Zoom to present her presentation. So basically, like over there, she will give us like a very practical view from pharmaceutical manufacturing. And without further ado, I would like to invite Ibu Ida to present her presentation. We would be very pleased to hear your perspective, Ibu Ida. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, since we have like trouble when it comes to technicality, I would like to invite Pak Royhan Nevi Wahab. He is the Director of Investment and Creative Economy at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Pak Royhan brings like experience when it comes to economic diplomacy, international trade, WTO or World Trade Organization affairs, food security, investment, and international negotiations as well. This is very relevant because we know halal raw materials cannot grow through science and factory alone. They also need investment, they need market access, and they need regulatory pathways as well. So apart from that, they also need international partners. And this session, we're gonna cover that. And we're gonna cover like the D8 perspective as well. Without further ado, Mr. Royhan, please, please share us with your perspective. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mas Firdaus, for the introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for the opportunity for me to address this forum. Indeed, it is my privilege on behalf of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to be here and to provide you with a glimpse of information of strategic importance about this particular theme. As you know that the D8 was founded on a simple but powerful premise that developing countries with shared values and complementary economic strength can achieve more together than they ever could have alone. More than 2 decades since its establishment, that premise remains as relevant as ever, and nowhere more than in the halal economy, a sector where our member states collectively hold a natural structural advantage that few other economic blocs in the world can claim. Assuming the chairmanship, Indonesia identifies this as a strategic moment to leverage our collective strengths and convert them into tangible economic growth and investment opportunities. This is not simply a matter of celebrating our shared identity, it is a matter of translating that identity into industrial capability, supply chain resilience, and measurable economic value for our people. Collectively, as you can see in the slide, 8 member states of the D8 represents more than 1.3 billion people, a population predominantly Muslim, and a market of extraordinary scale. Combined, our economies generate close to 5 trillion US dollars in GDP. This is not a marginal bloc. This is a strategic economic force that remains, in many respects, still untapped in terms of coordinated halal trade and investment. To put this into perspectives, a few economic groupings in the world combine the scale of population, this breadth of geography spanning South Asia, the Middle East, Africa, and Southeast Asia, and this depth of shared cultural and consumption values around halal products. Yet, despite these natural advantages, the 8 member states today largely engage the global halal market as individual, competing exporters rather than a coordinated bloc capable of shaping global standards and supply chains on its own terms. Next. Building on the foundation, let me turn to where we believe targeted investment can generate the highest value of the 8 halal economy. We see the clear 3-stage pathway. Stage 1 begins with Indonesia's abundant marine and biological resources and endowment few countries in the world can match. Given our archipelagic geography and biodiversity. Stage 2 involves research and development, advanced manufacturing and commercialization, the stage where raw inputs are transformed through science and industrial capability into functional certifiable ingredients. Stage 3 delivers high-margin pharmaceutical and food ingredients ready for both domestic use and export, closing the loop between raw resource and finished halal certified product. It is worth emphasizing that stage 1 is where Indonesia's comparative advantage is strongest, yet it is also where the least value is currently captured. Historically, we have exported raw and minimally processed materials only to import them back in refined form at a significant higher cost. This is exact inefficiency that halal by design downstreaming is meant to correct. Along this pathway, we have identified specific investment entry points precisely at the research and development, R&D, manufacturing and commercialization stage where foreign direct investments, particularly investments oriented toward the commercialization of university and industry research, can have the greatest catalytic effect. These are not abstract entry points. They correspond to commercial production and where the right investment partner could bridge that gap within a matter of years, not decades. This is, in a sense, a shift from basic extraction toward high-value, halal by design ingredient manufacturing, fully integrated within the D8 ecosystem and structured so that value creation and the jobs and technology transfer that come with it remain within our region. Next. Beneath this promising landscape lies a structural vulnerability that we must confront honestly. Indonesia's pharmaceutical industry currently depends on imports for approximately 90% of its critical raw materials, a figure drawn from data by Ministry of Industry and the Ministry of Health. This dependency extends to essential inputs such as gelatin, collagen, enzymes, bioactive compounds, and pharmaceutical excipients, mentioned also by Prof. Mala and Mas Firdaus earlier, materials that sit at the very foundation of halal certified pharmaceutical and food production. This is a paradox worth pausing on. We are part of a booming global halal end product market, yet our supply of the raw materials that make halal certification possible remains fragile and extremely dependent. Without sovereign or regionally secured production of these critical raw materials, our industrial competitiveness and indeed our supply security remains severely exposed to global market shocks, geopolitical disruptions, and price volatility that lie entirely outside our control. Consider the implications for this. Every capsule, every gelatin-based product, every enzyme processed food or pharmaceutical ingredient that carries a halal certification in Indonesia today depends at some point upstream on raw material sourcing that we do not control. This is not merely an industrial policy issue. It is a matter of national resilience and ultimately of trust in the halal value chain itself. If the raw materials cannot be verified and secured at origin, the integrity of the entire downstream certification becomes harder to guarantee. This is precisely the gap that the D8 cooperation and economic diplomacy must be able to address by identifying where among our fellow member states these critical raw materials can be sourced, co-developed, or manufactured within a trusted halal framework. Next. Ladies and gentlemen, global investors today look closely at legal certainty, security stability, institutional strength, and a country's ability to manage risks. This is why economic diplomacy has become a critical instrument for strengthening trust in Indonesia's credibility as a long-term investment destination. In this effort, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs plays a pivotal enabling role. Through economic diplomacy, we connect government institutions, business, and international partners. And through our debottlenecking function, we help resolve the challenges that investors face, from cross-ministerial regulations and permitting issues to market access constraints and political sensitiveness with partner countries. We also put high quality investment that brings research and development, technology transfer and strength, ESG, environmental, social, and governance, and good governance practices. This ensures that investment not only drives growth, but also supports Indonesia's structural transformation towards a more sustainable and competitive economy. Finally, to deepen regional and global supply chain integration, the Ministry actively advances Indonesia's economic cooperation framework, negotiating and implementing PTAs, FTAs, and comprehensive economic partnership agreements with strategic partners, as well as supports the establishment of mutual recognition arrangements for halal certification. Next. At the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Directorate of Investment and Creative Economy works hand-in-hand with our embassies and consulates general abroad. Our missions are, in effect, the Ministry's forward-deployed sensors and connectors present on the ground in investor markets and in D8 member capitals, and in the industry clusters where relevant technology and capital reside. Concretely, our missions perform three interlinked functions. First, mapping strategic investment opportunities across D8 member states and among global strategic investors. Identifying which companies, funds, and institutions we have both the capital and the appetite to invest in halal-oriented raw material production. Second, advancing halal economic diplomacy to build trust and open doors at the government-to-government level, ensuring that commercial interest is matched by institutional support and political will on both sides. Third is facilitating cross-border supply chain integration so that raw materials, technology, and capital can move more efficiently between the 8 economies rather than being routed as is often the case today. These three functions do not operate in isolation, they reinforce one another. In short, diplomacy is not a peripheral function in this ecosystem, it is the mechanism that transforms scientific and industrial potential into an internationally integrated industrial reality. Next, distinguished colleagues, to summarize my presentation just now, my short presentation just now, I would like to inform you that the D8 possesses a strategic population and economic base of remarkable scale. Yet our raw material supply chains remain vulnerable. Our missions abroad are positioned to serve as catalysts for investment and integration. There are clearly identifiable entry points for high-value downstreaming, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, of course, stands ready to serve as the international enabler that clears the path for secure and efficient investment. None of these elements stands on its own. A scale without security is fragile. Diplomacy without investment is symbolic. And of course, investment without regulatory coherence stalls before it can deliver value. It is only by addressing all 5 together as one coherent strategy, the D8 can move from potential to performance. Under the chairmanship, Indonesia looks forward to working closely with all the 8 member states and with strategic global investors to turn this halal ecosystem potential into a fully integrated industrial reality. We see that this is not work of a single ministry or a single country. This is a shared undertaking that will require sustained commitment from all of us in this room. I thank you, and we will be very happy to have a more thorough discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Another brilliant presentation. It was very enlightening and inspiring, Paroy. And I suppose when it comes to this issue, it is not about what Indonesia can produce anymore. It is all about coordination with D8 countries as well, when it comes to supply, when it comes to demand, and eventually investment and policy itself. And we would like to apologize for the earlier issue when it comes to the technicality. And actually, I would like to ask the technical people whether we can get back to Ibu Ida again right now. Is it possible to get back to Ibu Ida again right now? All right, I suppose like we still have some issues over there. So, Pak Roy, maybe I can get back to you a little bit. And when it comes to the regulatory options and bottlenecks and everything, oh, okay. Are we doing it now? Yeah. Yeah.
It is a privilege to be here today to discuss a topic that is becoming increasingly important to both healthcare resilience and halal.
Okay. Hi, Team Faros. How are you guys doing over there? Is everything okay? Anybody can hear me? Is anyone there? Ah. All right. Okay, okay, okay. All right, all right, all right. I suppose let's get back to the investment and the G8 introduction earlier. So I'd like to check with Pak Royhan. Let's move to investment and G8 cooperation right now. So if Indonesia and G8 member countries want to work on halal critical raw materials, where is the most realistic starting point? I was thinking of shared sourcing or joint production, investment matching, regulatory discussion, or is there anything else on your mind regarding that?
Yeah, I think, thank you for the question, by the way. I think the most important thing, as I mentioned earlier in my presentation, is research and development.
Research and development.
The research and development plays a very critical role in defining the whole supply chain. So I think that's the most issue that needs to be addressed in the upstream from starting from the research and development. Prof. Mala is from the Bogor Agricultural University, IPB, that can actually assist us, all of us, not just the governments, but the whole ecosystem, the whole industry for the research and development facility. And of course, the government will also be very glad to facilitate experts, financing or investments coming to Indonesia to finance this research and development facility. And from that, we can take it step by step to further determine what other way forward that we need to prepare and to make sure that we must be able to fulfill the upstream requirements.
Right. Anyway, I mean, like I saw your slide earlier about 1.3 billion people and 5.1 trillion US dollar opportunity, right? The scale looks quite big, right? But I haven't seen like a big investment, or I haven't heard anything about the way it works when it comes to halal raw ingredient, raw material innovation. What is it? Do you think the missing link of this kind of opportunity?
Okay, I think if we talk about halal requirements, I think this is something quite new in the global stage. I think the halal standards has been applied as one of the existing global standards just recently. I think for the past 5 years or so.
Right.
And I think there's a lot more that we have to do, especially from the government, not only to make sure that the ecosystem within our national territory will be comprehensively prepared, but also we have to be able to make sure that other countries follow the same path that we are now preparing within our domestic framework. So that is one that we still need to do at the global stage. The second thing is if we talk about the D8 framework, I have my colleague that deals with the D8. He knows better than I do, but the halal industry in the D8 framework is also quite relatively new. So I think this is the opportunity where Indonesia, taking role as the chairman, continue to push further to strengthen the halal issue in the D8 framework. And I think with the existing figure that you just mentioned, Mas Firdaus, the figures of economy that comes from the D8 member states, I think this is something which Indonesia can continue to assist. And I think Indonesia should be in the driver's seat when it comes to talking about halal policy, especially within the D8 framework. So that's it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, would you guys agree as well? I suppose. Yeah, and when it comes to that, I mean, when it comes to Indonesia, when it comes to the role of Indonesia, when it comes to leading this initiative, where do you think is best position Indonesia as like a leading position of this kind of initiative?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
All right. I mean, I get a little bit flustered with the question. So, so when it comes to this initiative, of course, we're gonna need a lot of collaboration between these D8 countries, right? And what I was asking was, where do you see Indonesia fit when it comes to its strong points of this? What is it, like a halal raw material innovation? I was thinking, I mean, like I did a supply chain study back then, and then like we were trying to come up with some kind of concept where we can integrate ASEAN or Southeast Asia. Let's say in Indonesia we have spices, in Vietnam we have like rice, and in Malaysia, in Thailand, let's say it's more about manufacturing. And where do you see Indonesia can thrive when it comes to this initiative in halal halal raw material innovation?
Okay, thank you for that question. Please apologies if my response will not directly correlate with your inquiries. However, Indonesia is the biggest market in Southeast Asia. We have the biggest population among all ASEAN member states. We are also a member of the D8. I think everything must start in Indonesia. Who will take charge or who will become the focal point? I think that is something that we can talk about at a later stage between the government, the academicians, the industry. However, it must be us, Indonesia, that takes the lead role for this whole aspect of halal supply chain, from the upstream, the midstream, to the downstream. And for that particular reason, we also have the ability to make sure that all the manufacturing processes can take place in Indonesia. And I firmly believe that when we talk about where Indonesia fits in, I think the best part is Indonesia as a leading or a mentor for this particular initiative, be it in the D8 or maybe in ASEAN or any other global or regional initiative. So I think Indonesia should always be in the driver's seat to take the lead role to design this global standards of halal industry. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I was told that we already have like some people from Papros over there. Can you guys hear me? I mean, like we are ready to have you. You may want to open your microphone.
Hello,
Is everything all right, guys?
we can hear you. Hello. Hello. Um, hello.
We are really sorry for this inconvenience. Really sorry, Pak Roy and Prof Mala. We're trying our best to get them here. All right. All right.
Hello.
Assalamualaikum Pak Badrus.
Waalaikumsalam. Can you hear me?
Uh, can you hear me, Pak? Is it possible
Yes,
for
we can
you
hear you.
to check your microphone? I think
Hello?
you're not muted, but I couldn't hear any voice.
Yes, we can hear you. Hello. Hello.
Hi, Pak Badrus.
Hello.
I cannot
Yes,
hear your
we can
voice.
hear you.
Nothing at all. Sorry.
Okay, we can hear you.
Anybody can help me with this?
Please.
Oh. Anyway, I mean, I suppose like we still have like an issue with this. I may want to get back to Prof Mala, I suppose. So, Prof Mala, you were saying that we have like a lot of possibilities when it comes to what is it, raw material innovation, right? And you mentioned fish bones, fish scales, fish. What is it, like a swim bladder, and then what is it, like a skin as well? Yeah, there are so many waste materials over there. I was wondering if you have some kind of data when it comes to those type of waste materials that would yield the best when it comes to the production of gelatin or collagen. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Yeah, actually, as we know that Indonesia is the marine country.
Yeah.
So we have 17,000 islands in Indonesia. So we can imagine how big our country and how big is the waters area in Indonesia. But the problem may be Indonesia is the island country also.
Yes.
So there are so many islands, and between island they have obstacle, the transportation, for example, and in fishery industry, actually Indonesia also is the biggest country to export the fishery resources, like the fish meat and other products from meat, from fish. On the other hand, we still have the waste from fishery industry, like skin, scale, bone, viscera,
Swim bladder,
and swim bladder also. And until now, the utilization of the such kind of the waste of the fisheries resources, mainly for feed or maybe for the snack like Indonesian product we can call kerupuk.
Kerupuk. All right. For the fish skin, right?
Yeah, from the fish skin.
Salmon?
Fish skin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fish skin.
All right.
But other parts, they still the utilization is very low. So that's why it's very possible to Indonesia to develop the gelatin or collagen industry based on our resources. I forgot to inform you that just yesterday our minister, Mr. Purbaya here. So now he tried to push gelatin local industry Indonesia. You can see in the online newspaper. Just I got the information today in the morning. So because yesterday also Mr. Purbaya also already saw our innovation also, and we also already discussed with him, and also as Babe Haikal as the head of the BPGPH, also he support how to build the gelatin industry in Indonesia. And I think maybe also it's very important for Indonesia as the leader in the D8 country.
Yes.
Yeah, just in the morning also I met one of the Pakistan entrepreneur, and other entrepreneur also yesterday I met them. So I think it's very possible to have the collaboration between us to develop and then to support how, as the Islamic population in the biggest in the world, we can provide the gelatin. It's mean very critical raw material in our product, in the cosmetic, pharmacy, and also in food, especially maybe for pharmacy maybe. Pharmacy actually many kind of the pharmacy like hard capsule, soft capsule, tablets also, the injection also like vaccine also, they use gelatin in their product. And until now we don't know, is it halal or no? Because nobody can ensure that
Right.
there is meet the halal criteria.
Right. I suppose we need to do research about that.
Yeah, because physically also between gelatin come from porcine, from bovine, from fish, we cannot detect physically.
Right.
So we have to check by DNA method.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Mhm.
Yeah, and you know some issue also. Several times I also contacted by BPPOM person.
Uh-huh.
She said that until now, when she tried to inspect, they have the investigation in the field, they never found the zero from bovine. So that means in our product, in our daily life, maybe some product, not food maybe, from pharmacy, we can, the product can be contaminated with the gelatin from porcine. So last time also I think Babe Haikal also already found in the candies. In the candies it contain also gelatin from porcine.
Right.
So even from the bovine, we don't know very
Wow.
well. Is it halal or no? Because some of them, they are contaminated each other.
Right. This is very concerning. I suppose. That concludes that we need this research more than ever, I suppose. And anyway, the way I see it, when it comes to this kind of research, this is brilliant. But when it comes to scalability, replicability, it's gonna be a little bit difficult. Now, I would like to check with Pak Roy. When it comes to this kind of production, this kind of initiative, I suppose it's gonna be a little bit difficult for people to just believe and invest, right? because the way I say the scalability, replicability, and then the way how do I say that, like the yield is probably is not that high. Um, is there any plan from your end when it comes to incentivizing these people from D8 when it comes to this research or this initiative, in incentivizing to see that that they are interested in this? Because of course for them to take on this, there must be a risk. I don't know, maybe I was wondering anything about tax relief or something like that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mas Firdaus. I think the government would be able to further assist investments
Yes.
in this kind of sectors through incentives, packages. However, that will be the role of the Ministry of Finance, not the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. However, we can communicate within line ministries, including to the Ministry of Finance, of any kind of proposals, any kind of request on certain incentives to be applied and to be given to certain investors. However, what we need to do is to make sure that we have a concept on these kind of investments and to ask the related ministries, in this regard, the Ministry of Finance, for incentives to further invite investors to take part in this ecosystem. I do believe that investors will not also look at incentives. They will look at the whole ecosystem of the investments offered. And I think the Ministry of Foreign Affairs can also have a role to facilitate finalization of concepts, also facilitating communication to the line ministries, related ministries, including for incentives to be given by the government to these sectors.
Thank you so much. Absolutely, I agree with that. I mean, when it comes to that, I mean, I have the slightest idea about that, and thank you for that. Anyway, I would like to pick the brains of these two a little bit more, but apparently the time doesn't allow me to do that, and for that reason, I would like to open like a question and answer session. All right, gentleman over there. Do you have the mic? All right, you don't have the mic. All right, I'm gonna give the mic to you. Please state your name and there you go.
Okay.
Please state your name and your institution.
Yes, my name is Binsar Sitompul from Komite Nasional Ekonomi Keuangan Syariah (KNKS). Prof Mala, Pak Raihan. I would like to ask to Prof Mala, which is a very interesting topic for gelatin, ya Bu. Do you have any estimation that what is your capacity right now to fulfill the demand of the halal gelatin in the world? Because what we see, the demand per year is 800,000 tons per year, while for the halal gelatin itself, the demand is about 60,000 tons. So if your capacity right now can fulfill that 60,000 tons, so we can produce that. But if it's still not fulfill the demand, then what is your plan to increase that capacity to achieve that demands of the world? Thank you.
May I answer directly?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for the question. I think very important question for us. So actually, in our case, after we have the long research, so we try to be commercialized with the one of the blending financing. So here actually we already have the capacity is about 2 tons liquid per day, Yeah, and you are right that our gelatin, the amount of our gelatin is very, very high. And until now, there is no gelatin industry for the national scale. So that's why I think our homework, how to increase the capacity, how to make, maybe this is like, can we try to make collaboration each other between academician, businessmen, government, and also community and media, such as the how to increase the capacity. Is it possible to make like the strategic industrial Indonesia? How the government can support, like maybe make the easier to build, to develop the industry. So it is still homework actually, Pak Roy, how to increase our critical gelatin product in Indonesia. Yeah, I think also very thanks to KNKS. So actually KNKS have been trying to support, to push us to increase the level of the amount of the gelatin production actually. So that is our homework actually. But I think on the other hand, so please remember, because Indonesia is very big country, many islands, so we have also collaboration with the small scale, maybe fishery processing product, fishermen like that, how they can collect, how about the quality, so that is another homework. But I think this is very challenging. Why? Actually not only for the gelatin or not only for the fishery product. So almost product from Indonesia, maybe amount of the product come from import. Like, so until now Indonesia, they like to import, they like to trade, but for producing,
It's a different
we have many obstacles. But I think this is very challenging.
Yeah.
So I think let's together with KNKS, with the Kemenlu and many collaborative here, we can go together to build. This is gelatin is very important for our daily life. And then this is for the halal is our life, and one of them, the critical resources is gelatin.
Hello?
So that's all.
Very enlightening answer. Absolutely. Thank you, Prof. Mala. Anyway, I mean, like, I hope that satisfy you, Pak. But if you have any probing question, we would welcome that as well. Do you have any probing question?
Yeah, maybe. Thank you, Prof. Mala. Maybe to Pak Royhan, maybe for the next.
Oh, that
Yeah,
sure, sure.
to support the halal gelatin, Pak Royhan, is it any plan from foreign ministry to support the marketing for that halal gelatin that can be produced by Prof. Mala? So help to market this very useful halal gelatin to the global market, so
All right.
can increase
Pak
also the
Pak
demand and
Arif.
can also increase the capacity. Thank you, Pak.
Pak Aris.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for the
Dengar suara
question.
kami, Pak?
Well, we are ready since yesterday,
Halo?
to be honest. And we are always ready to facilitate any inquiries coming from our stakeholders,
Pak Badrus.
including from Prof. Mala and also from the Bogor Agriculture University with regard to this gelatin halal
Oh, yeah.
product. Of course, we will be able to continue the discussion on the modalities, how we would be able to fully support. But our door is always open, and we are always ready to make use of our more than 130 diplomatic representations abroad, covering all countries in the world, and we are very happy to be able to cooperate with the industry, including KNKS and also IPB or Bogor Agriculture University.
Yeah.
May I add some,
All right.
some information? So I think maybe also the one important thing for the regulation. So because Indonesia like to export our raw material, so I think maybe from the regulation side we also can support. Is it possible to, how to say, to avoid the export like waste from Indonesia? Because you know, as I explained before from my experience, the resources from fishery waste is very good to make gelatin product. And until now, in the world, the fish gelatin raw material come from tropical country. And maybe some of them now they export, like skin, bone, scale, and many things. And after that, they will come back to Indonesia with other products, with final products like cosmetic, pharmacy, capsule, and so on. Maybe one thing from the regulation, if we want to push together, so all of the part of us can make contribution. So the gelatin industry in Indonesia, not only gelatin industry actually, another industry also can build very well if the regulation also meet the requirement and then can push the development of the industry. Thank you.
All right. Does that satisfy you? All right, that's brilliant. Oh, there we go. We have another person to question. Oh, sorry. Anybody can help me with that? Oh, there you go. Please state your name and your institution, sir. Thank
Okay.
you.
I'm Luki Cahyo from KPMI, Komunitas Pengusaha Muslim Indonesia, and from Gema Putra Abadi, supply chain partner, Prof. Mala and Pak Rehan.
First, the global halal market opportunities are growing rapidly. Second, halal certification is becoming mandatory requirement by the government and by market. The third, the D countries collectively represent a large and strategically important market, but one that still faces significant vulnerability in pharmaceutical raw material sourcings. These are the three forces that halal pharmaceutical development not only a business opportunity but also a strategic necessity. Next. Based on our experience dealing with certification of halal pharmaceutical, among our total product, currently about 72% already certified, while the remaining 28% are still need to be certified. Our operational is focused exclusively in transitioning the uncertified products to become certified. Among that, certified we categorize into two following the Government of Indonesia regulation, which are for traditional medicine 100% certified halal, and the health supplement 92% certified. The remaining are mostly medicine, whether it's the ethical or the generic one. Next. Okay.